Well, hey everybody, it's Parker from Games for Youth Ministry by YM360, where we make games so good they're really good. Today we're looking at a game called Bobbleheads. Okay, so that's really distracting. The way this game works is you bring up, a few volunteers on stage, and on their heads are headbands with pedometers attached to them. And if you search Amazon for basic pedometer, you'll find they sell packs of like four of them for I think like $20 or something like that. And what they have are just a little display and I think one button. And what it does is it counts how many steps you've taken. So what you can do is attach this to a headband, and then with just tape, or you can cut a little slit in the headband and tuck it in. And what it does is it counts how many times you bobble your head. So what you do is you bring them up and you have these people ready to go and actually make sure they know how their pedometer works, so you're not up there fiddling with it. And you say, hey, we got our volunteers up here today. What we're going to do is they have these pedometers on their head that's going to count how many times they bobble their heads. We're going to give them 30 seconds to the person who has the most bobbles is the winner. And ready, set, go! And then you have them bobble their heads while the countdown is going down. And let's say for whatever reason someone, the last guy taps out, you can stop him and you just have the other two going until it hits zero. Once it hits zero and they stop, you are going to take the pedometers out and you're going to read off the winners and read off the numbers and see who comes up with the highest number. They are the winner. So let's look at these settings and figure out how this game actually works. All right, so I'm going to bring the settings up here and we are going to add some heads. So for this one, I'm starting off blank and we will click add heads. And I have a folder with some heads that are just ready to go, some random people I found online. And you can actually hold down shift and select as many heads as you'd like. And we'll click add, and you'll see they're added to this list. If we click save, scoot this down, and you'll see that they have been added. You can also shift them around. So let's say we want to have him first. You just do that, click save, and now he's first on the list. This is good if you have everyone lined up, just so it kind of looks like it's coordinated a bit. You have your timer up here, so if you want it to be anything more than 30 seconds, like a minute and 30 seconds, you can do that, or just keep it about 30, I think is kind of the golden number here that you want to stick at. But let's say that you don't have Photoshop or something like that, because these heads themselves, we'll click add heads, show you really quickly. They're PNG files, so it's transparent backgrounds, so it's just the head right there. You might not have Photoshop or the capability of cutting these heads out and stuff like that, and that's totally okay. We made a tool for you to do that. It's really nice. So if you go right here, it says need help creating heads from your photos. Click here. So you click this, and this is the head maker. And the head maker is really simple. Just click on this icon, and you're going to pick a picture of somebody, preferably a selfie, not a group photo where their head is really small, where you have a good quality picture of their face. Click open, and this is a picture of my son on his first day of school. So what we're going to do is click scale up, and you want this to be big enough so that his head just fits right in the circle. Just like that's probably good. We'll scale down just a little bit. Okay. Then what you do is you just grab these dots and you just drag them close to the head, and that is going to crop out the head. So just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to do a very poor job at this, and I'm not going to pay attention to the details. But just so you guys get the idea, you can move all these little dots in. Move the head around a little bit there. Okay, so let's say I think that looks pretty good. When you are ready to see what your results will look like, you can click toggle preview right here, and now we'll take away the mask and just show you what it looks like. And that way you can be like, oh, I have to adjust up here a little bit, and click toggle preview again, and then move what you need to move, and then toggle preview again until you feel like, okay, that's how I want it. When you want it the way you want it, just click save photo, and it's going to pop up here, and I'm going to call mine Charlie. And click save, and it has been saved. Now what you can do is you can click change photo, and you can grab a different photo. I'll just grab the same one since I don't have another one there, and it'll reset everything, and then you can now edit this new photo. So this is good if you have just a bunch of selfies and you just want to kind of go through each one and boom, 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 knock them out. You can do that. Now what we'll do is we'll close this, we'll go to add heads again, and now we've got our Charlie head, and we'll click that, and it's been added to the last one on the list. I'm going to move him up to the front and click save, and now Charlie has his own head and he is ready to start bobbling. This is really nice actually. If you do this and take the time to do this and do it in a nice way and pay attention to the details, you can actually reuse these heads in other games that we're making. So you could just have a folder of heads, put the student or volunteer's names on there, and that way when you're about to play a game, you can just pull up that person, throw their head into the game, and then just start playing it. Okay, so let's look at the controls really quickly. So on our controls, as with all of our games, you can either press these buttons like this one right here, or you can just hit the key that it says underneath it. So that's the enter key. To start and stop the timer, that's just the space bar. R or this button will reset the timer. Toggle bobbling is the enter key. Bobbling all heads is the up arrow, and stopping all heads is the down arrow. That doesn't necessarily make sense because it kind of sounds like, well, what is toggle bobbling? How is that different? Toggle bobbling will bobble those heads that are not bobbling and stop bobbling the heads that are. And that's the way you get people to bobble individually is up here it says you can use the number keys on your keyboard to start and stop individuals from bobbling. So if I want Charlie and this girl right here to start bobbling, I can hit 1 and 3. I'll just hit them at the same time, and you'll see they're bobbling. Now, if I hit the enter key, which is our toggle bobbling, it's going to swap. Now they're bobbling. This is really good if you want to say we're going to do odds versus evens, guys versus girls, freshmen versus seniors, whatever you want. That way you can be like, okay, they're bobbling. Okay, now next group. And then they're bobbling. Blah, 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 okay, back now, you guys. Blah, blah, blah. And that kind of adds a little bit, makes it a little more interesting. And also gives the other people a little bit of a break. Now, if you want to stop all those heads, you just press the down arrow. If you want to start everybody, press the up arrow. And that's how that works. Let me think what else there is here. So that should pretty much be it. You can add people and remove people at will. So if we want to add a head and we want to say we want to add this guy and we want to click save, we can now see that there is that guy. And you can actually add as many heads as you'd like. The problem does become it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as it tries to cram everybody into the same screen. And you can, when it comes to individual bobbling, you can only go up to 10, which would be the keys 1 through 0 on your keyboard. So 0 would be the 10th person. Anything beyond that, they're kind of on their own. You can't control them individually. So this game really works well when you have about 3 to 5 people, preferably adult volunteers, because at the end, their grand prize can be something like an aspirin or something like that. Another really big win on this one is if you bring in your senior pastor and you have your senior pastor play, maybe against some students, and then force that person to win. So the way you would do that is at the end when we're saying, okay, let's check everyone's head. You check Charlie first, and he has, say, like 520 bobbles. Then you check her next, she's 323. And so she sits down. The next person, she's 600. So Charlie sits down. And you just keep going down the road until you have the last person. If you have your senior pastor first and read off and say, like, the senior pastor has 552, just make up the numbers for everyone else so it's lower. That allows your senior pastor to win. And then as a prize, give them a custom bobblehead. So if you just Google custom bobblehead, you can send pictures to people and they will make a custom bobblehead of somebody. So that's a really great desk toy for your senior pastor to have for playing the game. Anyway, just a little funny idea there. So this one is called Bobbleheads. I hope you guys like this, and I will see you in the next game. See ya.